Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are taking a guided tour through one of the most famous, vivid, and, let's be honest, mysterious books ever written. We're going to unpack the visions and the whole sequence of events from the Bible's grand finale, the Revelation to John.
Okay, so what exactly happens in the book of Revelation? You've probably heard about the incredible imagery, all the multi-headed beasts and heavenly cities. We're going to walk through the main events, step by step, exactly as they unfold in the book itself.
So, our story kicks off with a man named John. He tells us he was exiled to the remote island of Patmos, all because of his faith. And it's right there, in total isolation, that he receives this extraordinary, all-encompassing vision.
He hears this huge voice sounding like a horn, and it gives him a direct command. Write down everything you're about to see and send it to 7 specific, historical communities. So right from the get-go, we know this isn't just a personal vision. It's a message that's absolutely meant to be shared.
The vision starts with this powerful, almost overwhelming description of a divine figure, who's identified as the Son of Man. I mean, the imagery here is just so intense. It's all about conveying immense power and authority, really setting the stage for how serious the message is going to be.
All right, so the first major section of the book is actually made up of 7 distinct letters. You can almost think of them as divine report cards, and they're addressed to real historical churches in what we now call modern-day Turkey. And each one of these letters follows this really clear pattern. It starts with praise for what the church is doing right, but then it gives a correction for their faults, like calling the church in Laodicea lukewarm. Every letter then ends with a promise for those who overcome, so it's this mix of encouragement and a pretty stern warning. After the letters, the whole perspective just shifts dramatically. John says he sees a door open up in heaven, and boom, he's transported into what you can only really describe as the control room of the universe.
And the scene is just, wow, it's completely awe-inspiring. There's a central throne, and it's surrounded by 24 other rulers on their own seats, plus these 4 unique living beasts that are constantly giving praise. The focus of this entire heavenly court is a book, or a scroll, held by the one on the throne, and it's sealed shut with 7 seals.
Now here's the drama. At first, nobody in heaven or on earth is found worthy to open this sealed book, and this makes John incredibly sad. But then a figure described as a lamb, one that looks as though it had been sacrificed, steps forward, and this lamb is the only one with the authority to break the seals and reveal what's inside. The opening of that book, that's the trigger for pretty much all the main action in Revelation. The breaking of the seals kicks off this series of judgments that unfold in 3 cascading sets. First, you have 7 seals, followed by 7 trumpets, and finally 7 bowls. The first 4 seals are maybe the most famous part of the whole book. This is where we get the 4 horsemen. You've got a rider on a white horse bringing conquest, a red horse taking peace from the earth, a black horse bringing famine, and a gray horse whose rider is literally named Death. After the seals, 7 angels sound 7 trumpets, and the events really ramp up. You start to notice this recurring theme of 1/3. A third of the earth is burned, a third of the sea is affected, a third of mankind is killed. It's a really systematic and escalating series of calamities. Right in the middle of all this chaos, 2 major antagonists show up. The first is this powerful beast from the sea, which is often seen as a symbol of a corrupt political military empire that gets its power from a dragon. It's followed by a second beast from the earth, which looks less threatening but speaks with the dragon's voice and performs all these signs to deceive people into worshiping the first beast. And this, of course, leads to the book's most notorious detail. To control commerce and enforce loyalty, the second beast creates a mark, and people have to have it on their right hand or forehead just to buy or sell anything. And then the text says, this mark is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So this brings us to the final and most intense series of judgments. 7 angels pour out 7 bowls of God's wrath. And unlike the trumpets that only affected a third of things, these are comprehensive. They bring total darkness to the beast's kingdom, and it all culminates in the greatest earth shock in human history.
These final judgments lead to the dramatic downfall of a powerful, wealthy, and corrupt system that's personified as a city, Babylon the Great. That name has always been a symbol for worldly empire and rebellion. Its collapse is sudden and it's total. It happens in 1 hour, and the rulers and traders of the earth who got rich from it are seen just weeping over its destruction. But the fall of this corrupt system, that's not the end of the story, not by a long shot. It just sets the stage for the book's ultimate climax, when the conflict between good and evil finally comes to a head.
Heaven opens, and a rider on a white horse appears. He's identified as faithful and true. He's followed by the armies of heaven, and he has a title written right on his robe that leaves absolutely zero doubt about his authority.
The battle that follows is, well, it's over before it really starts. It's swift and it's decisive. The beast and the false prophet, that second beast, are captured, and they're removed from the picture. Then the dragon, the ultimate source of their power, is bound and chained for 1,000 years, bringing an end to the great conflict.
After that period and one final judgment scene, the vision concludes. But it doesn't end with all this lingering destruction. Instead, it ends with a breathtaking picture of total renewal and recreation. The old order just completely passes away.
John sees a new heaven and a new earth, and a holy city, the New Jerusalem, comes down from heaven. And this right here is the ultimate payoff of the entire vision. It's a world where God lives directly with humanity and where all the things that cause suffering, death, sorrow, crying, and pain are gone. Forever.
So, in the end, what are we supposed to make of all this? For centuries, readers have debated whether Revelation is a literal roadmap of the future or if it's a symbolic story about the ultimate triumph of good over evil. But, regardless of your interpretation, its powerful vision of justice, redemption, and a world made new continues to challenge and inspire.